Hiya Mark, super session yesterday at the range, really good progress made. I'm just going to talk you through the key points during your session. First of all, if we just go over those points for you, the points covered during your lesson are: we want right foot flared more, we're going to hit balls with the right leg straight, we've got the handle forward, and we're going to cut the finish off. So they were the points that we covered. You can see here a before and after scenario. Top row is the start of your session, bottom row is the end of your session, and the difference at the end was fantastic. If we just play you through now from setup, you can see now right foot at the bottom flared out much more. That's actually straightened the right leg as well. So one of the problems we've got is that we want to kink the right knee in an attempt to level out the hips. So the right knee is kinked in too much here, and that's having a knock-on effect in your downswing. So with the right knee kinked in, the right knee tends to shoot out during the downswing. That right knee kinking in is also restricting your hip turn during your backswing. So we're just going to play you through. We've got the right foot flared out, we've got the handle more forward, so we want the handle pointed more towards the left hip, as we see here. Keeping the right leg straight all the way through the swing. Remember what should be happening from P1 to P2. Right leg should be straightening approximately 7 degrees. P2 to 3, a further 7. P3 to 4, a further 7. So the right leg is incrementally straightening from P1 to P4. See now on the bottom line, club coming inside a little bit more. A little bit better movement on the way back. Left arm not quite as much out in front of you when viewed from down the line. Up hand plane, onto elbow plane, looking good at this point. Look at it down the line on the after, we're a little bit fuller at the top because the hips have turned more. So the hips on the bottom right are turning on a steeper angle than we see on the top left. Top left, the hips are flattened out. This makes it difficult for you to stay centered, whereas the hips on the bottom right are working up and back, which is making it easier for you to continue to turn and extend, hence the slightly longer top of the backswing position. As we now play this down, you're going to see that the right leg maintains its position on the bottom left. Moving forward, you can see on the top right that right knee kinking in. Whenever that right knee kinks in, let's just play this back to the top. So as you've seen here, we've got a little bit too much flex in the right knee at this point. As you start down, the right knee kinks in, it shoots out in front of you, and whenever that happens, the club will start to drift outside the hands at P6. So we can see here now, change colour on that. Club slightly above the plane line, as opposed to the club being slightly under the plane line. As we come through now, P6, just a quickie from face on, a little bit tighter here with the left arm in relation to the right thigh. Ultimately we want this left arm a little bit more in line with the right thigh, but all in all a gradual progression at that point. Through the ball now, right leg stays straight, doesn't shoot out in front of us. That allows us to continue to move forward, and you can see in these next few frames of the footage here how much more linear we've got there on the way through. Not as much division between the knees when viewed from down the line, and just look at that from face on. Massive improvement. Right knee straightening up nicely, you're pushing up off the ground, extending, and in the finish there's no creeping back into flexion. You can see how much less of your back we can see here, the before and after. Right shoulder not overtaking the left, not going back into flexion. Look how much more forward your hip center is. So the overall shape of your finish has gone from what we see here with shoulder forward, hips back, to hips forward of everything in the downswing. Far, far better swing at the end of the session. I'm just going to get rid of all the lines for us now and just play that move through the ball back to you. From the top, the hips slide, So I'm going to put that hip slide in there from P4 to P5. I'm going to get back into forward flexion by P6. And from P6 onwards, we want to be using the ground to push up. That's going to help the hips continue to move forward whilst rotating. You can see there now, hip bone, tailbone, not spinning out quite as much as what we see here. More rotation. Rotation is going to bring the arms out in front of you a little bit more. Arms underneath you a little bit more. Swinging through from face on, this is the move here. Keeping that right leg straight, giving you that feeling. Look at that. Much, much better. Standing up through the ball, continue to extend. Super session, Mark. Keep that up, and the checks are going to be big. Good luck with it. I look forward to working with you again in the coming weeks. Well done.